Gabriel Martinez touched his daughter's hand and saw her first day of kindergarten. Not remembered it, saw it, experienced it. Through her eyes, her nervousness, her excitement, the classroom, the teacher, the moment she made her first friend. It was beautiful, perfect, exactly the kind of memory Gabriel wished he'd been there to witness firsthand. Then it was gone. Not her memory, something from his own past. Erased, deleted, like someone had reached into his mind and removed a file. Gabriel stood in his living room, still holding his daughter Sophia's hand, trying to remember what he'd just lost. It was something about college. He knew that much. But the details were gone. A class? A party? The person? The memory had existed 5 seconds ago. Now it was void. Sophia pulled her hand away. "Dad, are you okay?" "Yeah, just thinking." But Gabriel wasn't thinking. He was panicking, because he just read his daughter's memory and paid for it with one of his own. Gabriel tested it carefully over the next week. He learned the rules fast and hated every one of them. When he touched someone with intent, not casual contact, but deliberate, focused touch, he could access their memories. Not all of them, just one, random, from any point in their life. The memory transfer was instantaneous. Gabriel experienced it fully, saw it, felt it, lived it for approximately 10 seconds from the other person's perspective. And the cost was automatic. The moment he accessed someone else's memory, he lost one of his own. Randomly selected. Erased completely. No way to choose which memory was sacrificed. No way to recover it afterward. Gabriel Martinez could read minds. But every time he did, he forgot a piece of his own life. Gabriel was 37 years old. Detective. Chicago PD, Homicide Division. 12 years on the force. Good clearance rate. Respected by colleagues. Devoted father to Sophia, age 6. The ability had manifested 3 weeks ago. No trigger. No accident. Just suddenly there. One day he couldn't read memories. The next day he could. And every time he used it, he lost something. He'd tested it carefully. Touched his partner Mike. Saw a memory of Mike's wedding. Lost his own memory of his 10th birthday party. Touched a witness during an interview. Saw her memory of the crime. Lost his memory of his first apartment. Touched Sophia again. Saw her memory of learning to ride a bike. Lost his memory of his grandfather's funeral. Each trade was random. Each loss was permanent. And Gabriel had no control over what disappeared. The first time Gabriel used it for work was during a murder investigation. Victim was a young woman, 23, stabbed 7 times. Found in an alley. No witnesses. No cameras. No leads. They brought in the boyfriend for questioning. He had an alibi, but something felt off. Gabriel's instincts were screaming that this guy was involved. But instincts weren't evidence. They needed proof. Something concrete. Gabriel interviewed the boyfriend. Standard questions. Getting nowhere. The guy was too smooth. Too rehearsed. Then Gabriel reached across the table. Shook his hand. "Thanks for your cooperation." The memory hit immediately. The boyfriend's hands. Covered in blood. The victim on the ground. Still alive. Begging. Him standing over her. Knife in hand. Finishing what he'd started. Gabriel saw it all. Felt the boyfriend's rage. His satisfaction. His lack of remorse. Then the memory was gone. Replaced by nothing. And somewhere in Gabriel's mind, one of his own memories disappeared. He couldn't remember his first day on the police force. Couldn't remember taking the oath. Couldn't remember why he'd chosen this career. Just knew that he had. The justification was gone. Only the fact remained. But Gabriel had seen the truth. Knew the boyfriend was guilty. Knew exactly how it happened. "I'm going to need you to stay here," Gabriel said. "We have some follow-up questions." They arrested him 6 hours later. Charged him with murder. The boyfriend eventually confessed. The memory Gabriel had seen gave them the leverage they needed to break his story. One murderer in custody. One innocent memory erased. Justice served at the cost of Gabriel's own past. Gabriel started using the ability regularly. Cases that were going cold. Suspects who wouldn't talk. Witnesses who were lying. All Gabriel had to do was touch them. See their memories. Know the truth. His clearance rate skyrocketed. Unsolved cases started closing. The department noticed. His captain called him in. "Martinez, your numbers are exceptional." What changed? Just getting better at reading people. 16 closed cases in 6 weeks. That's not reading people. That's something else. Gabriel didn't respond. The captain studied him. "I don't care how you're doing it. As long as it's legal and it's working, keep doing it. But be careful. Success like this attracts attention. And not all of it is friendly." Gabriel knew. He was already losing pieces of himself. Memories disappearing faster than he could catalog them. His childhood was becoming Swiss cheese. Full of holes he couldn't fill. But murders were being solved. Families were getting closure. Justice was being served. Gabriel told himself that was worth it. The cost became apparent 6 months in. Gabriel was having dinner with Sophia when she asked about her mother. "Tell me about when you and Mom met." Gabriel opened his mouth, then closed it, because he couldn't remember. The memory was gone. Sacrificed sometime in the last 6 months for a case he couldn't even recall now. "We met in college," Gabriel said. The fact was there. But the memory, the actual experience, was void. What was it like? "I don't remember the details. It was a long time ago." Sophia looked disappointed. "You always used to tell me the story about how Mom was reading in the library and you kept trying to talk to her and she kept ignoring you until you finally made her laugh." Gabriel had no recollection of that story. Knew it must be true because Sophia knew it. But the memory itself was gone. Erased. Traded for some suspect's confession or witness's testimony. "Sorry, sweetheart. My memory isn't what it used to be." Sophia accepted that. But Gabriel was terrified. Because if he'd lost his memory of meeting his ex-wife, what else had he lost? What other important moments were gone? What pieces of his identity had been sacrificed for his work? He started keeping a journal, writing down everything he could remember, every important moment, every significant memory, creating a backup of his own past before the ability erased it completely. But writing down memories wasn't the same as having them. Gabriel could read about his wedding day, could see the photos, could know it happened, but he couldn't remember it, couldn't feel it. The experience itself was gone. He was becoming a stranger to his own life, living in a present built on a past he couldn't access, making decisions based on experiences he no longer remembered having. His partner Mike noticed. "You've been off lately. Distracted. You forget things." "I'm just tired." "It's more than that. You forgot my kid's name yesterday. You've known him since he was born." Gabriel had forgotten, along with dozens of other details. His memory was becoming unreliable, full of gaps where important information used to be. "I'll be more careful," Gabriel said. But he wasn't being careful. He was using the ability constantly. Every case, every suspect, every opportunity to see the truth, and paying for it with pieces of himself. The FBI approached him 8 months after the ability manifested. "Agent Wilson." Different conversation than usual. More serious. More concerned. "Detective Martinez. We've been tracking your case closures. Your success rate is statistically impossible. And several suspects have mentioned during interrogation that you knew things you shouldn't have been able to know. Details they never shared. Memories they never disclosed. I'm good at my job. You're psychometric. You can read memories through touch. And based on your behavioral patterns, the gaps in your own recollections, the inconsistencies in your personal history, I think there's a cost. You're losing your own memories every time you read someone else's." Gabriel didn't respond. Wilson pulled out a file. Medical reports. Psych evaluations. Documentation of Gabriel's increasing memory problems. Missed appointments. Forgotten conversations. Gaps in his personal timeline. "We want to help you. Give you support. Resources. But we need to understand the mechanism. How many memories have you lost? How much of your past is gone?" Gabriel thought about it. Tried to count. Couldn't. Because he didn't know what he'd forgotten. Couldn't remember what memories were missing. I don't know, Gabriel admitted. Could be dozens. Could be hundreds. I've stopped keeping track. That's not sustainable. Eventually you'll lose too much. Critical memories. Identity-defining experiences. You could lose yourself completely. But I'm solving cases. Giving families closure. Isn't that worth something? Not if it costs you everything. Not if you forget who you are in the process. Wilson offered him the close call unit. Controlled usage. Strategic deployment. Psychological support to help manage the memory loss. Gabriel almost said yes. Almost accepted help. Then he thought about the 16 unsolved cases sitting on his desk. 16 families waiting for answers. 16 killers still free. I appreciate the offer. But I'm needed here. These cases won't solve themselves. And you won't remember solving them. Every case you close, you lose another piece of your past. Eventually you won't even remember why you became a detective. I already don't remember that. Lost it 6 months ago. But I'm still here. Still doing the work. Memory or no memory. Wilson was quiet. Then, we'll be monitoring you. When you're ready for help, call us. Before you lose too much to recover. Gabriel continued for another year. Closed 43 more cases. Touched dozens of suspects and witnesses. Saw their memories. Traded his own. His personal life disintegrated. He forgot his ex-wife's name. Forgot his parents' faces. Forgot his own childhood street address. Forgot Sophia's first words. Forgot holidays. Birthdays. Vacations. All of it erased. Sacrificed. Gone. He kept a photo album. A journal. Written records of his life. But they felt like someone else's story. He could see the evidence that these things happened, but couldn't remember experiencing them. Sophia started to notice. Dad, you're forgetting a lot lately. I know. I'm sorry. Are you sick? No. Just working too hard. Not sleeping enough. But it wasn't work or sleep. It was the ability. Consuming him. Erasing him. Turning him into a detective with no past. Just present. Just cases. Just an endless cycle of reading others' memories while losing his own. The breaking point came during a kidnapping case. 8-year-old boy. Taken from his front yard. Parents devastated. Time running out. Gabriel knew that every hour decreased the odds of finding him alive. They had a suspect. Neighbor with a history. But no evidence. No confession. No indication of where the boy might be. Gabriel touched the suspect's hand during questioning. Saw the memory. The boy. Still alive. Held in a basement. Specific address. Specific location. Gabriel got the information. Called it in. Tactical team deployed. Found the boy. Alive. Unharmed. Returned to his parents within hours. Perfect outcome. Except for the memory Gabriel lost. He couldn't remember Sophia. Not her name. Not her face. Not her existence. He knew intellectually that he had a daughter. Could read about her in his journal. Could see photos. But the lived experience, 6 years of memories, was gone. Gabriel went home that night. Sophia was waiting. Hi, Dad. He looked at her. Knew she was his daughter. Knew he loved her. But couldn't remember why. Couldn't remember her birth. Her first steps. Her first words. Any of it. Hi, Gabriel said. His voice hollow. Sophia hugged him. Gabriel hugged back. Went through the motions. But felt nothing. Because the emotional connection, the memories that created that bond, was gone. He'd saved an 8-year-old boy. Lost his own daughter in the process. Not physically, but mentally. Completely. Gabriel called Wilson the next morning. I need help. What happened? I lost too much. My daughter. I can't remember her. I know she exists, but I don't know her. The memories are gone. Wilson was quiet for a moment. How much of your past is still intact? Maybe 10%. Maybe less. Everything before age 30 is mostly gone. Last 7 years are fragmentary. I have facts but no experiences. Data but no feelings. Can you still do your job? Physically? But I don't remember why I'm doing it. Don't remember what made me become a detective. Don't remember the cases that shaped me. I'm just going through motions. Then it's time to stop, before you lose the rest. Gabriel Martinez retired from Chicago PD at 38. 12 years on the force. 1 year using the ability. 73 cases closed. At the cost of approximately 90% of his personal memories. He moved to a small town in Wisconsin. Got a job as a security guard. Simple work. No touching people. No reading memories. No opportunities to sacrifice what little past he had left. He kept his journal, his photo album, his written records of a life he couldn't remember living. He read them every night, trying to feel something, trying to reconnect with a past that existed only as data. Sophia visited once a month. Gabriel knew she was his daughter, had photos proving it, journal entries documenting their relationship, but he couldn't feel the connection. Couldn't access the love that should be there. He went through the motions, said the right things, hugged her when appropriate, but it was performance, mimicry, based on what he'd written about how he used to act, not actual emotion. Sophia noticed. "You're different, Dad. You don't remember me." "Not really. I'm trying." "I know, but trying isn't the same as remembering. And I can tell you don't feel it. Whatever you used to feel for me, it's gone." Gabriel wanted to argue, wanted to say she was wrong, but she wasn't. The memories that created his love for her were erased. All that remained was intellectual knowledge, fact without feeling. "I'm sorry," Gabriel said. "I gave too much to the job, and I can't get it back." Sophia cried. Gabriel held her, felt nothing, knew he should feel something, knew he'd lost something irreplaceable, but couldn't access the emotion. It was gone with the memories. Gabriel Martinez is 39 now. 1 year since retirement. 2 years since the ability manifested. 2 years of reading memories and losing his own. He still has the ability. Tests it occasionally. Touches strangers in the grocery store. Sees glimpses of their lives. Loses more of his own. But there's not much left to lose. His childhood is completely gone. His adolescence is fragments. His adult life is scattered facts without context. He knows he was married once. Knows he has a daughter named Sophia. Knows he was a detective. Knows he solved important cases. But he can't remember experiencing any of it. Can't remember feeling anything. Can't remember who he was before the abilities started erasing him. He's a man without a past. Living in a present that has no foundation. Making decisions based on written instructions he left himself. Following a life path laid out by someone he used to be but can no longer remember being. The ability gave him truth. Let him see into other people's minds. Let him solve cases that saved lives. Brought justice. Gave closure. But the cost was himself. His identity. His history. His emotional connections. Everything that made Gabriel Martinez who he was. Now he's just a man with exceptional intuition and a journal full of someone else's life. Going through motions. Following routines. Existing without really living. He could read memories by touch, but lost one of his own each time. And after 2 years of trading, Gabriel Martinez had almost nothing left. Just fragments. Just data. Just the knowledge that he used to be someone who mattered to people. Who had relationships. Who had a past worth remembering. That person was gone now. Erased memory by memory. Replaced by hollow facts and performative emotions. Some abilities enhance you. Some empower you. Some make you valuable. His just slowly deleted him. One memory at a time. Until there was almost nothing left except the knowledge that something used to be there. Gabriel Martinez could read memories by touch. And the ability consumed him. Not all at once. Gradually. Incrementally. Trading his past for other people's truth until his own truth was gone. Now he's a ghost. Living someone else's life. Following instructions written by a man who no longer exists. Pretending to be Gabriel Martinez because that's what the paperwork says. But knowing that the real Gabriel, the one with memories and emotions and connections, disappeared somewhere in the trades. sacrificed for justice. Foreclosure. 4 cases closed and families consoled. Was it worth it? Gabriel can't remember. The memory of making that choice is gone too. Erased like everything else. All that remains is the hollow present. And the knowledge that he used to be someone. Someone who mattered. Someone who loved his daughter and remembered his own life. But that someone is gone. And Gabriel Martinez, what's left of him, lives in the ruins.